Hello everybody, today we're going to start our first schnapps with you, and it's Blueberry Schnapps. And you see, cleanliness is always next to godliness with mash. Don't forget it guys, we're going to tell you this every single time. As you can see, Ellie's finished washing all the fruit. We've got it in a 5 litre container. Doesn't it look nice and clean? And if you look at it from side on, we try not to exceed 3/4 of the 5 litre tin that we're using here. We've got fresh fruit now, all nice and washed. Next thing to do is to weigh it. We need to know how much fruit in weight we've got there, and then we can convert that to liquid, how much liquid or litres of fruit that we got. Then we know how much or what we're going to do with the mash. So first of all, scales, I've reset them to 0 with an empty container. So that should now be at the scales are set to 0 with an empty container. With the fruit on it, we have got 2.3 kilos of blueberries. We've got a bog standard potato masher, and all we're going to do is literally mash the blueberries with the potato masher. We want them all nice and squashed up. So the mash is clean. We've mashed it, as you can see. Andy's just finishing off, making sure with his potato mash that it's all nice and squashed up, nothing else but 2.5 litres of fruit. We're going to make this up to 3 litres. We're going to add 500 millilitres of fresh clean water. There you go. Straight into the mash. Just stir that around. Please make sure that you never exceed 1/3 of the volume of the fruit that you've got with water that you're putting in. If you need the calculations on how we work out the fruit volume to the litre content of mash for any fruit that we use, subscribe, contact us, and we'll send you that information. Absolutely. Next stage, Andy's going to put 3 or 4 drops of the liquifier. Now the liquifier will help the natural process of the fruit to break down and actually become a proper liquid stroke mash once we're having added the liquifier. Andy's now going to put the Biogen M. The Biogen M actually controls the pH of the mash. He's already pre-measured 12 millilitres of the Biogen M. That goes into the mash. Give it a good stir, and then we're ready for the next stage, which will be adding the yeast. So the next step in preparing the mash is we're going to increase the alcohol content, which is approximately 10% with the blueberries to 20% in the mash. Now the first step of doing that, we need to add a turbo yeast, and we're going to add, for 3 litres of blueberry, we're going to add 4 milligrams. Now we've already pre-weighed that out. There it is in Andy's little spoon, and now we're going to put it in the mix and give that a real good mix. Have it added the yeast. Now we're going to add normal granulated sugar. As we've said, we're trying to increase the alcohol content of the blueberries, which is naturally 10%, to 20% of finished mash alcohol content. So we're going to add the granulated sugar in 3 equal stages, and today we're going to put in 226 grams of granulated sugar. That will react with the natural yeast and the yeast that we've put in over the mash period, and we'll see that fermenting as time goes by. So that's the full mixing process. We're ready to go. Last thing is the sealed lid, which Andy's now going to put on. We've already fitted the bung into the lid, the airlock sitting in the bung. All Andy's now going to do is he's going to put some water in that bung so we get no contamination in or out of the mix. And all that leaves us then to do is to stick that in a room that is between 20 and 25 degrees to give the best fermentation period. Well done, Andy. Nice to see you work for a change.